Hey guys, it's Stacy coming in with an update. It feels like forever since I made a video. Uh, to, Yesterday marked my 1 week post-op from my vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Um, I'll do my numbers first and get that out of the way, and then I could talk about my experience and how my week went and everything. When I started my pre-op liquid diet on July 5th, I weighed in at 274.0. When I went in for surgery 2 weeks later on July 19th, I weighed 264.0. So I lost 10 pounds on my pre-op liquid diet. Yesterday was actually exactly 1 week, but I had a doctor's appointment today, so I figured I would wait to make a video until today. So I had accurate numbers, and so today, 1 week, I weighed in at 252.2. So that's an 11.8 pound loss for the week, which brings my total to 21.8 pounds since I started my pre-op diet. So there are my numbers, and I'll talk a little bit about my surgery and my hospital stay and all that good stuff. So I had my surgery. I had to be at the hospital at 7:45, and my husband and my sister went with me. They wheeled me back at about 9:15ish, because surgery was about 9:45. It took me forever because I couldn't pee. They didn't tell me I had to pee once I got there. I should have known. Well, I've never had surgery, so I wouldn't have known. But I couldn't go. It took me like a half hour, and I made them start my IV and get fluids in me and stuff. So the IV, everything was fine. My sister was a basket case, so she, made me start crying a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I remember them wheeling me back into the surgery room. I remember being freezing cold, so I scooted over. I remember they raised my bed up, and I scooted over to the operating table, and the nurse gave me a couple of warm blankets, and I remember them putting a belt across the top of my thighs, across my legs, and me putting my arms out on these boards. I don't remember the exact time. Like, the anesthesiologist said he was giving me my medicine. The nurse did, well, she put a mask over my mouth, and I did have to breathe, and then that was all I remember. I remember waking up in the recovery room in some pain, and I, kept telling this guy that I was still in pain, so he, tried a couple different medicines. And then I remember it being loud in there. There was this one nurse, I think, well, I don't know who she was. I just remember it being loud. I was still really out of it. So I asked them to wheel me up to the room. So they notified my sister and my husband, and I vaguely remember meeting them in the hallway, and I looked at my sister and I go, I'm in so much pain. And we went up to my room, and then I physically had to get onto my bed, which was fine. And then I think I just dozed off. I think I just slept for a while. When I woke up, after a few hours, I was able to sit up into a chair, and then eventually go for a walk. Which the nurses were like, are you sure you're ready? And, I was. Shanna came, PETA Girl 83, came to visit me, and took some pictures of me walking. So I'll upload those too, and to show you guys. I have a few different pictures that I'll put at the end of the video. And then the rest of the night was fine. The next day, pain was awesome. They kept asking me what my pain level was, and it was like 1 or 2, or 0 or 1. That's because I was constantly, I think, every 10 minutes pushing that morphine button. And I felt great. I was up walking a lot, drinking. I wasn't really eating a lot. I could get in a little bit of chicken broth or beef broth. They brought both, like, different for breakfast and lunch and dinner and stuff. But I was able to get water, tons of ice chips. The next day, I tried to be a hero and not take any pain medicine. But my pain was still only about, maybe a 4 when they asked. So, still not too bad. And then the next day I got to go home. I was in the hospital for 2 nights. So then the next day I got to go home. I got released at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It was super early. Doctor came in, said, everybody was saying what a rock star I was because I was up jogging the halls, multiple times. And so I was doing good. My hospital stay was very great. Everybody was super nice. The nurses were awesome. And I couldn't be more happy with the way that all turned out. I got home. I actually stayed at my grandma's house that night because I have stairs and stuff in my house, and I was a big baby, and she wanted to take care of me anyway. So I stayed at her house. That night, they gave me Vicodin to take home for pain medicine. I think I took a pain pill, I think, maybe 2. No, I took Tylenol because I've had a headache ever since surgery, but I had a horrible headache, so I took Tylenol, and then I also took a pain pill when it was time. So that night, I had a rough night. I woke up, not throwing up, but more just dry heaving, which hurt my stomach pretty bad. And then I didn't really sleep much that night. The next night, however, I came home to my house. My sister stayed here with me, and obviously my husband, and still couldn't sleep at night. But the pain, I didn't take any pain pills. I would just take Tylenol. I didn't want to take the Vicodin. I thought maybe that's what was making me nauseous or sick, so I didn't take any more of that. I did go home with 3 days of a blood thinner injection, Lovenox, that I had to take for 3 days post-op when I got home from the hospital. That was no biggie. I just gave it to myself. What else? And that's pretty much it. On day 3, so on Friday, I had surgery Tuesday. By Friday, I was able to start my mushy pureed food stage, but I just wasn't hungry. I didn't want to like force feed myself, but I knew that I needed to get something. It has to be all protein though. I couldn't do pudding. A lot of people put like refried beans and things like that. It had to be protein only. So that was either, I'm sorry, I'm moving this around so much. This is really annoying. I'm sorry. Let me see here. So that consisted of scrambled eggs, cottage cheese, anything that you can make into a baby food consistency, I guess. And I love cottage cheese, so I figured, hey, mushies won't be a big deal for me. So, and I was looking forward to actually eating something from being on the diet for 2 weeks, the liquid diet. So I ate a little bit of cottage cheese, couldn't get it all down. It was 3 meals a day at 3 tablespoons per meal. So I tried scrambled eggs, couldn't get that down very well. Cottage cheese went down fine. I just got sick of it, and I just didn't have a taste for it at all. I wanted like soup or anything. So I'm on the mushy pureed stage for 2 weeks. Now, I